Hello, my name is Ayan and I'm a working DevOps professional, and today we'll be looking into AWS SQS or Simple Queue Service. It's a very key service if you're designing an infrastructure that's large scale with microservices, right? So for example, your microservices are communicating with each other, but you want a service in between that provides some kind of buffering or decoupling. So that's where SQS comes in. So in a simple way, you can think of SQS as a buffer provider between your two microservices. So those microservices won't be dependent on each other, but yet still they are communicating normally as they would do without SQS, right? SQS is like a queue or a pipeline between your microservices. So microservice A needs to communicate with microservice B, and in between would be a pipe or a storage or a tunnel as SQS, right? And then microservice A produces an event or a query that would be stored in your SQS queue, and that SQS queue would be consumed by your microservice B for the specific event. So this way your microservice A can have a bunch of events and tasks for the microservice B stored in your SQS queue as a buffer, and then as your microservice B communicates or processes the request, it scales automatically based on the load it already has, right? So this way your microservices are really decoupled. They are not dependent on each other in a way that would break them if one of them goes down. So it's really helpful, and this way your services are all decoupled. You can handle spikes without even considering it because you have a buffer in between, right? So it doesn't really matter if you're sending a request when your already microservice B is overused and it's crashing out. That is not a case because you have a buffer in between. And then what you can do is you can add retry failed jobs where your SQS queue task would be retried if it got failed by the microservice B, obviously. And you can scale independently, and you can scale on the logic that how many buffered tasks we already have. You can avoid losing your messages. You can use a dead letter queue, which is another thing. This way your application is really safe from the hurdle of communication and dependencies between two microservices.